of what the church is doing. It is saying that, and it is doing it. And it is all documented in the text. Having said that, however, I will speak to you for the next 50 minutes. Okay, you get the point. Nevertheless, there are some things that you think you must say. Probably nothing new, because it is all outlined in the order of service that you have before you. Luke chapter 2, verse 49. He said to them, "Why were you searching for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" A sort of frontish answer. An answer that when some of us were, growing years, could get you a serious tap or some kind of response, out of place. Who is speaking to like that? And even today, we are not impressed at the manner in which people speak to us. Still a cause of offense. But I want you to note as well that when we first used to read this text, we read the royal language that leads straight to heaven of the Holy King James Version. "Wist ye not that I must be about my Father's business?" That is what we read then. And the translations and the critical analyses and the form criticism and the source criticisms and all the technical jargon that goes with theological application brings us to be about my Father's business. But it does not exclude my Father's business or the notion of my Father's affairs or the matters which pertain to temple business. Not just the coming and getting communion and then slipping away. It's a lot more than that. And so it addresses the bigger picture of what is involved in worshiping God and worshiping Him faithfully. Today we begin by celebrating Joseph. It is, if we are taking this to be the first Mass of St. Joseph, celebrated properly tomorrow. Guardian of God's incarnate Son and spouse of the Virgin Mary. We celebrate a man who, in the face of distressing circumstances, even for a man of his tenderness and obedience to God, accepted the vocation of protecting Mary and being father to Jesus, and this according to the description given by the book Holy Men, Holy Women. Reference is made to say that Christian tradition honors Joseph for this nurturing care and protective role, and for bringing up Jesus as a faithful Jew at Nazareth. We are reading this when we have a manhunt going on for a man who murdered 4 persons. We are assuming that the circumstances may be more distressing than what Joseph faced. We are assuming that. But whether so or not, nothing could be more grievous to a man, and men have plenty ego. I suppose we have to do the work on trying to balance ego with other factors. than to hear your dearly beloved is pregnant and is not yours. And then, as we might say in local parlance, then man turned beast. And the rest of that is not pulpit type discussion. Additionally, Christianity embraces Joseph's depiction in Matthew's Gospel as a man of deep devotion, one who received God's messengers, a man of compassion, a man who accepted his God-given responsibility with gentleness and humility. Given the attacks on women and the murderous outcomes in recent times in our country, we lift up again Joseph's example, temperament, and process. This work on our menfolk remains an important assignment for the home, the church, and our schools. And we continue to pray for the men of this land to lift up Joseph's example and to encourage acceptance among men of God-given responsibility with gentleness and humility. Quite a task, but achievable, beginning at home, worked in our churches, worked in our schools. So at this St. Joseph celebration, we have assembled to license and install the Reverend Shelley-Ann Tenia, BSc Psychology Honors, Master of Divinity, among other qualifications, priest in the Church of God, and historically the first female to assume the position of dean in this diocese and in the province of the West Indies. All of that while she is the only female under 45 years in the full employ of the church. The Reverend Lady has shown herself to be committed to the Lord Jesus, to his church, to Christian witness in Trinidad and Tobago and the province. She has demonstrated a capacity for hard work, willingness to learn, and an intention to master the craft of priesthood. Moreover, she continues to study and is intent on bringing the fullness of her intellect and spiritual being to the task. The appointment as Dean and Rector has little to do with the fact that she is female. The bishop tends to look for priests reasonably suited to particular configurations of mission, and may select from among those with implied and expressed capacity. The process requires prayer, patient waiting for a prompt or two, consultation, probing, and an involved regimen of discernment. After all that, heaven may still reveal that you got the process wrong or it is incomplete.
We need to ask those persons who are parked on Shacon Street and on Queen Street if they could please go to their vehicles immediately. There is a fire and the fire services anti-